Zurückbleiben bitte. Attention, stay back.
Hello. My friend will have you right over there in the jackets. The Kedar jackets right
Here. Yes. anderen Welt. Willkommensgruß an jene Gäste, die heute zu unserer Weltreise oder zu einzelnen Abschnitten der Weltreise zugestoßen sind. Es freut mich, Ihnen mitteilen zu können, dass unsere Abfahrtsvorbereitungen in der Endphase sind und wir in Kürze ablegen werden. Für das heutige Ablegemanöver werden wir uns zunächst mit Hilfe unserer Azicodes und Hochstrahlruder seitlich vom Liegeplatz lösen, bevor wir Fahrtabnehmen und uns ausrichten, um den Rückkurs 11 abwärts anzutreten. Während der Passage vom Liegeplatz bis zur letzten Station werden wir nach der 82.
Tomorrow, deep within a dream, deep within a dream. Saw a train set the night on fire, and I smell the spring.
you'd like to indulge beyond the cabinet, Curiosity Cocktail, which can be found at Commodore Club and simply venture out.
Let's add that from the beginning. So start with your right foot, we go toe, heel, stomp, left, toe, heel, stomp, step forward with the right, and left. Let's add that all together from the beginning. So with that right foot, 2 steps back.
I enjoyed it, but I'm saying I won because I hit it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We're a bit short. I've got a job now because she wears a caption. Remember, we had a snowball fight with Wednesday. you don't know the email.
We have the wonderful Megan!
Take my hand. It's the beat that my heart gets when I'm with you. I count your lies, got me looking. If it's quite alright, I need you, baby. There I hardly would wish me one more day.
If they're on though, you're not getting cheap
This is first fish. Gary's coming.
Our crew are the heartbeat of the ship. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a safe journey home, and we do look forward to welcoming you back on board in the not too distant future. All that remains for me to do is to wish you all an excellent afternoon and evening on board our beautiful Queen Anne, and thank you, and I will now hand you over to Verena for the benefit of our German-speaking guests.
Ich wünsche Ihnen eine sichere Heimreise und freue mich darauf, Sie in nicht allzu ferner Zukunft wieder an Bord begrüßen zu dürfen. Meine Damen und Herren,
We're going down to New Orleans to